Go! Three, two, one, go! Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in to round number 4 here in SIMSeniors Season 13. We are here in Mount Panorama for tonight's racing. I am Josh Richards. And yeah, as I said, we're here in Mount Panorama. Really looking forward to tonight's racing. Practice session is just coming to a close, and very soon we will be headed trackside to see what is going on. But before we get into all of tonight's running, let's first and foremost have a quick look at the calendar. As we were saying here in Australia for tonight's running. Last time out we were in Spa-Francorchamps, quite the trip for the drivers to come out here. But yeah, gonna be exciting. We've got Circuit of the Americas next time out, Japan Suzuka in 2 weeks time. Then we're headed to Kyalami, the Nordschleife, Watkins Glen and Imola to round out the season here as well. But yeah, very soon I believe we will be headed down to our track, but let's have a quick look at it here. Of course, the wonderful Bathurst circuit here in Mount Panorama. A really incredible circuit when you think about it. Such extreme elevation changes. Kind of similar to Spa in that respect, although I think a lot more extreme here. So many incredible corners to look at as well. Such a high-speed flowing circuit. The barriers are so close as well as you make your way around here. One small mistake is going to be so costly, but that is why we love this track, to be honest. It is such an incredible one. And I think just any second now, qualifying will be getting underway. So let's head over to the track and see how the drivers can get on. 30 minutes will be on the clock, and the first set of drivers heading out onto the track will be our bronze drivers for the first 10 minutes of qualifying. Let's see how these guys can get on. We're probably looking towards about a 2-minute lap time around here. So that is going to be the sort of goalpost for all of the drivers here tonight. Let's see how close they can get. Can they dip into those sub 2-minute times? Potentially the first car out onto the track was the 733. And let's see if we can jump over with them, see how they are getting on. It is Winter, Stephen Winter out here, making his way up the hill through the middle sector here. The first driver out onto the track, making his way around. Probably going to be, I think, 4 attempted laps for these drivers in this session. Just with the nature of having about 10 minutes and it being about a 2-minute lap. Bit of an outlap for the drivers to navigate as well. So that is what they're going to be contending with. 4 attempts potentially at a flying lap here, trying to see what sort of pace they can set. We've got almost all of our bronze drivers, I think, heading out onto the track now. Just having a look, looks like just one driver in the pits, and that is the 773 of Coulomb. But I'm sure we will be seeing some of him very soon as well. No, sorry, have we got 2 drivers at the same? Yes, we do. I got a bit confused there for a second because we are watching the 733 here as well. There's 2 drivers I can see with that number. But here we go now, making our way towards Murray's Corner to kick off the first lap here of qualifying. And let's see what sort of pace we can see here tonight as we put our foot down to the floor to start off the run down the pit straight towards the first corner here. Let's see what Winter can put on the board. Really incredible circuit here as we're making our way down towards turn number 2, Quarry Bend. Got to make sure you use all of the track here. Make sure you can carry the speed. It is so important to keep that minimum speed up. Lots more drivers as well heading round to start their laps as well as we make our way through. Let's see, first sector split gonna come up. My timing seems to be a little bit confused, but I think it should fix itself in just a moment, and we can see how the drivers are getting on out there. Pretty decent start so far to the lap though, as we're making our way through. Doesn't seem to have been too many mistakes for Stephen Winter. A couple more drivers out there on the track as well. Now we come towards the really tricky section as we make our way downhill through Skyline in towards the S's. This is an incredible section of track for the drivers to be navigating, getting right up against all of the walls as you dive your way down the hill in towards Forest Elbow in just a second, and then on towards the long Conrod Straight. Going to be a long run now as we make our way down towards the chase. Such a tricky set of corners. Try and spot your braking point at such high speeds. Get the car hooked in and hope that it sticks. That is the crucial thing, making sure it stays with you, using up all the track as we run in, braking just before the 100-meter board. Get the car turned in towards that inside curb, get back on the power, carry the car out to the left-hand side, get back over to the right as you get ready to set up the final corner of this lap. Hit your braking point, get the car turned in, and you're going to make your way through the final corner up towards the line. And the first time on the board, Stephen Winter setting a 2:04.917. That is the first time we see here tonight. It puts him up to the top as it stands. Plenty of drivers, of course, still out there on the laps. The next one going to be the 97, who makes their way through the final corner now. As they cross the line, apologies there. Michael Bull going second fastest, 3 seconds further off the 125 of Soloroy, 1.5 seconds off the time with a 2:06, and then Dismukes going up with a 2:05.887 to put himself second fastest. A couple more cars through the final corner now. Smith in the 113 going to come across the line to go to the top with a 2:03.542. Drivers still, of course, going to be continuing on pushing. Jervis going to third fastest, 2.3 seconds off the fastest time we've seen so far, and lots of drivers going to be finding plenty of time as they make their way through here. Next car to the line is going to be the 41 of Christian Sullivan, who makes his way through the final corner now, making his way up to the start-finish line. Where does this time put him? Second fastest, a 2:04.47, 1.1 seconds off the 2:03.5 set by Smith up at the front of the field. Next is going to be the number 2, who comes across the line and does go to the top. Stuart Holmes, fastest as it stands, half a second clear of Smith. 2:03.090 is the time that he puts on the board. So drivers continuing on to push. Of course, lots of drivers finding plenty of time out there on their laps. There's going to be plenty of time on the board. Of course, this is their first laps. The driver who we saw at the first time, Stephen Winter, 0.7 of a second up. This time could be good enough to find himself up into third position, as long as he can keep it nice and tidy for these final corners here. Up towards the line, 0.6 of a second up, and he does go third fastest with a 2:04.3. So we continue on now. Just 4 of our drivers in this bronze class yet to put a time on the board. I expect we'll be seeing times from them very, very soon. Let's jump over to David Soloway as he makes his way out of the final corner. It's a 2:06.460. Marginal improvements there. There are quite a few drivers out there improving on their times, though, and let's keep an eye as well. 1.4 seconds up for Andrew Gervais as he makes his way through the final corner now. Let's see where he can put himself. Dismukes has gone up to 4th fastest. Jervis goes up to 5th fastest, putting himself on a 4.4 as it stands. Only 0.02 off the back of Dismukes as well. So plenty of drivers out there finding time. Plenty of drivers looking to improve. Our current provisional fastest driver, Stuart Holmes, half a second up on his time as well. Currently sat on a 2:03.0. Could be looking at a potential 2:03.6 if he can hold it together through the final corner. Comes across the line and does just that. 2:02.612 to put himself up to the top of the timing screen. Let's see who else we have out there as everybody filing their way through. Tennant has just come across the line to put himself 7th fastest in the number 44. And we've got the 7:33 of Winter coming down towards the final few corners. Once again, through the chase we go. And once again, he is finding improvements. 0.3 of a second up. Not going to find a position as it stands, but looking to find some time nonetheless. He will get across the line as well before that 20 minutes time hits, so I believe he has got time for one more flying lap here. He's on a 2:04.0, the current fastest a 2:02.6. Smith in the 113 on a 2:03.5, 9/10 of a second off. So it is quite a big margin up at the front of the field, and Winter returning to the pits. He's not going to be going for another attempt. Let's have a look over to the 113 of Smith, currently second fastest, 6/10 of a second up. Couple drivers in front improving as well. The 125 coming across the line, and I believe jumping up to 8th position there. The 808 just in front as we both make our way through the final corner. The 808 is going to come across the line first, followed by the 113 currently sat in second place. And we wait to see as they come across the line. Both of them improving on their times. Unfortunately, not able to improve on their positions and coming back to the pit as well. The 199 through the final corner. Smith setting the time there of a 2:05.4 to put himself up into 8th position. Only one driver without a time on the board at the moment, and they are currently in the pit lane. So, oh, there's a second one. Sorry, they're both in the pit lane though. So not either way, we're not going to be seeing any times from either of them. As 20 seconds left for this session. I'm not entirely sure whether they can continue laps if they've started them. I'm guessing they probably can. And we wait and see then. 2/10 of a second up for Dismukes. Could be looking to try and find himself the position ahead of Winter here. As, yes, the rest of our drivers resetting to the pits. The 20-minute mark has hit, and all of our silver drivers will finally start to make their way out onto the track for their qualifying session. We'll keep an eye on Dismukes, who is actually finding considerable amounts of time. He's now 1.1 seconds up. This has been a really great lap for the bronze driver. The final time we will get in this session as he's running down towards the chase now. 1.1 seconds up on his time. This could be good enough for second with a good run through these final few corners. Let's see how brave is he going to be on the brakes, hitting the brakes just before that 100-meter board. Gets the car rotated in nicely, runs a little bit wide, but he carries the speed crucially. 1.2 seconds up now as we run in towards the final corner, Murray's corner. Hitting the brakes at the 100-meter board, gets it turned in. Let's see. Final lap for the bronze category. Is it going to be second fastest? Yes, it is. Puts himself up into P2 for the time being, of course. Still all of our bronze and gold cars yet to come. But there is your bronze category complete. The 420 of Dismukes, putting himself up to P2. Really great lap from him. And let's jump over now to the silver category, currently being led out on the track by the 213 of Craig Morrison, making his way down the Conrod straight towards the chase. Let's see what he can put on the board here for the drivers. So the current time to beat in the bronze category was a 2:02.612. That was the time that was set by Holmes, and now the rest of them have to chase him, try and beat him, put themselves ahead in these next 8 minutes of qualifying, and then we see the gold drivers heading out onto the track as well. So through the final corner we come. Let's see. Just quickly trying to sort something in the background as we make our way around the track here as well. But decent opening part of this session so far it has been. Just see as the drivers making their way around up the hill we go, trying to carry all of the speed here, of course. And over Skyline we go, down the hill through the S's. This is such an incredible part of the track, I have to say. the way you can just carry the speed through this set of corners, the commitment you have to have with the walls so close, it is really, really incredible. So now we head on towards the Conrod Straight, towards the chase. Let's see what times we're going to be seeing. So, of course, the benchmark, 2:02.612, our fastest time, set by the number 2 up at the front of the field at the moment. Let's see what we can pull off here then as we make our way in towards the final corner. Craig Morrison, the first driver to take the timing beam, goes up to P5 as it stands. North in the 207, going up to P4. Walker in the 330 goes to 6th as Barry goes up to P2 in the number 57. Lexus setting a 202.7, so getting pretty close. The next car coming across the line will be the number 6 of Homer as he makes his way over the line. Where does he go? I don't think that was to finish a lap. Potentially he stayed down at the bottom end of the timing tower as a couple more drivers jumping their way up, quite a few of them coming across the line just now, but they're all making their way through, filing their way through. We'll jump over to the 157 as he comes across the line again. I think just starting a lap. I don't see a time coming up as of yet. We'll keep an eye out there for these drivers as they're all making their way out on their laps. We'll jump back over to the 213, who was the first driver out on a lap as it stands, about a 1/10 of a second up on his time. But there, a mistake, crucial mistake there. It puts him into the barriers, and I think that might be, in fact it is, a trip back to the pit. So unfortunately, that is going to cost him probably 2 laps here in qualifying, just due to the amount of time it takes to get yourself around. The number 57 also having it off. He is the fastest driver in this silver class at the moment. So again, not ideal to see as we make our way down towards the escape here with the number 330, a couple 1/10 of a second up. We've got the 207 of North in front as well, also up on his time, looking to try and find a couple extra positions as we make our way through the final few corners now. Let's see what times they can put on the board as up towards the line. Walker is half a second up. North stays in P6, never mind. Dropping down now as Walker goes up to P5. That improvement, a 2:03.160, the time put on the board. Let's look to see who else is out on a lap. The 76 just making his way through the start of the lap. The 19 of Ibrahim Diekman putting himself up to P3. A nice time there with the 2:03.0, and there we go. Randy Zimmer, fastest now, 2:02.470, puts himself ahead of the number 2. A crucial time there for him, cementing himself as the fastest of all as it stands now. We'll jump over to the 157 coming through the final corner now. Let's see what this time is going to be. Comes across the line, it's a 2:04.4, puts himself into P16 for the time being. Next car around will be the 76, 6/10 of a second up on his time at the moment. Let's see what he can put together as he makes his way in towards the chase. Gets onto the power now towards Murray's corner. Rich Arscombe in the number 76, currently 1.4 seconds off the fastest time we've seen, looking for about 9/10 of improvement. Would be a nice time to find to put himself up into P5, 100th of a second off of the number 19 just in front of him. A couple cars having some offs. Looks like our fastest driver up at the front. We'll see if we can catch what has happened here for him. Was he just pulling over? Looks like he was just abandoning that lap there, so no worries for him as he just makes his way back to the pit lane. Not going to be improving. Yeah, so yeah, only 1 minute left in qualifying, so I expect that is just the case that he didn't think he'd be able to improve anymore. We've got a couple more cars now, all making their way up towards the line. Is anybody out there going to be improving on their time? Robert Homer in the number 6, making his way through as up at the front. Times are improving. Number 1, P1, Dykman, 2:01.920. He has returned back to the pit lane now, but just a few moments ago setting the fastest time to put himself to the top by half a second. So yeah, very, very nice stuff from him. We look as well to see who's coming towards the end of the laps. The 1:57 is just about to start a lap. We've got the 76, 0.2 of a second up as they make their way through. A bit of a wobble though as they headed on towards the Conrod Straight, coming out of Forest Elbow. Tricky hairpin there, and the power just wasn't complying. Down on their time now. They're going to continue pushing on though, of course, looking to find that time. 40 seconds left to go in qualifying for this second part for the Silver drivers. He would have enough time to go for another lap if he has the fuel available to him. Marginally now improving, but only by a couple of thousandths of a second. It's not going to be enough as it stands to find him an extra position unless there's time left in this final corner, which it looks like there might be some, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He stays in P6, 2:03.007. We'll jump over to the 2:07 of Alex North. The timer is ticking down. The gold drivers can now make their way onto the track. No more drivers can start another flying lap at this stage. And now we wait to see what the remaining drivers can set here as they make their way up towards the line. 0.2 of a second up for Alex North as he makes his way through the final corner. This could find him potentially up to P3 here as he makes his way across the line and does just that by 0.02 of a second. Puts himself up into third position. Lots more drivers coming across. Walker going up into P6. Let's jump over to the number 6 as well, who is 0.2 of a second up, currently making his way in towards the final corner. Now we've got the 109, also 0.4 of a second up, just behind. Let's see where these times can put them. Homer jumping up into P11. Let's see, Holmes makes his way through the final corner. 0.4 up, could be jumping up to P8 there. Really nice time from him, and the final driver who should get a time on the board, I believe here, the 1:57 and maybe the 76 as well, if they are also improving. Let's see if there is going to be an improvement. If there is, it's going to be very, very marginal for Anil as he makes his way up towards the start-finish line. And yeah, not really an improvement coming. In fact, no, sorry, he was slower on that lap. The 76, the last driver out there, 10th and a half up on the time. Needs to find about another half a tenth if he wants to find 1 or 2 more positions here, and then we will be looking towards our gold drivers for the final part of this qualifying session. Let's see. Decent run through the chase, ran a bit wide and has burnt away all of his advantage. I don't think this is going to be an improvement, unfortunately, as he makes his way in towards Murray's corner. 0.3 of a second down. He's not going to improve. He pulls over to the left-hand side of the track, and now we can head over to our gold drivers, the first of which is going to be the 2:08 of Frederick Gehammer, one of the fastest drivers in the practice sessions, right up there at the sharp end. Maybe could be challenging for a sub-2 minute lap time here. Let's see, bit of a wobble there from the 444 behind, but gets going quite nicely nonetheless. 7 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in this qualifying session, and we venture out with all of our gold drivers here, making our way through Quarry Bend. Decent start to the lap so far as he gets his way in towards the cutting. Bit of a wobble there, getting on the power, but nothing too terrible for Gehammer. And now making our way towards Solomon Park. Carry the speed through here. Try not to scrub too much off. Get back on the power. Close up against that wall. Almost hits the wall, in fact. Through McPhillamy Park now towards Skyline. Getting such a tricky set of corners right through the S's. Now and in towards the Dipper as well. I mean, yeah, an incredible sequence of corners keeping it out the barriers and carrying the speed, carrying the confidence is the key to a successful lap here. Got to make sure you get your exit right here out of Forest Elbow as we run on towards the Conrod Straight now. And we wait to see what the times are going to give us here. The 2:08 currently running towards the final few corners. I'm not sure, he might be on another outlap here. Just looking at the track map, I always do get this a little bit confused. I'm just guessing based on the fact that the rest of the cars are blue on the track map, but nonetheless, we'll wait and see if some times do appear for our drivers here. And out of the final corner, coming across the line, it is a time, and it is the fastest time for Gehammer, a 2:412, 2:01 for Bjorkland, 2:01.7 for Holmberg, putting himself into P4 as it stands, as Hearn goes up into P3. Couple more cars making their way through as well. We'll jump over to the 993 of Julius, who comes out to the final corner now, comes across the line, 13th fastest as it stands. Who else do we have out there? The 27th of Dave Marsh coming through the final corner. A bit of a wobble as he got onto the power. Where does this time put him? Third fastest. That is a very nice lap time indeed from him. Let's jump over now to the 3:17 of Loris O'Wiggle, who comes across the line. 19th fastest. Not the best time from him as he continues on. McNair comes across the line. Where does he go? Up to 5th fastest. Nice time from the number 13, and the 123 comes across the line now. That's all of our gold drivers with the time on the board at this stage, but the drivers still pushing out there. Gehammer, our fastest driver as it stands, on a 2:412, 3/10 of a second up, but that was not the line that he was looking for. That's going to cost him this lap effectively 6/7 of a second down on his time. Now we'll jump over to Oskari Herm, who's making his way through. You can see, I think that is the stricken 2:08, or it might have been somebody else also having a bit of an off out there as well. But nonetheless, the drivers can continue on their way. Lots of time being found here for Oskari Herm. 9/10 of a second up on his time as he makes his way down towards the chase. Let's see what he can put together now. Could be contending for the front row of the field here. In fact, almost certainly will, unless somebody else is able to find some improvements as well. 1.1 seconds. This could be our fastest time. Potentially, the time is ticking down as we make our way in towards the final corner for Oskari Herm as he goes to second. 18 thousandths of a second, though, was the gap between himself and our fastest driver, who is back out there improving after that mistake on the previous lap. Payton coming in towards the chase here. A couple more drivers coming across the line. Serrano goes up to 6th fastest as Vasuri goes up to 12th as well. 1.8 seconds off the fastest time as it stands. We've got the 3:17 making their way through the final corner, 2 seconds up on their time. That could be a very strong time, and it is a very strong time to go to the top by 17 thousandths of a second. 35,000, splitting our top three now, and this is getting very, very close and very, very competitive for those top few positions. The 2:31 of Mark Holmberg, I believe, on an outlap. As it stands, he may have been the one who had that mistake that we saw earlier on in the session. Gehammer, 6/10 of a second up. He might only be 17 thousandths off of provisional pole position. Only needs small improvements to take that position back, but he is making big, big strides here as we make our way towards the end of qualifying. Should have time for one more flying lap after this one as well. O'Wiggle is also improving by about 3/10 of a second, but as it stands, not going to be enough to combat the time being found here by Frederick Gehammer as we make our way in towards the chase now. Let's see if he can hold this one together to complete this lap, which would see him as the first driver into the sub 2 minute lap times. Let's see, getting a nice run here in towards the final corner. A short dash up towards the start-finish line. And for Frederick Gayhammer, it's going to be a 1:59.795. Puts himself to the top by exactly 0.6 of a second. The rest of the drivers now chasing that sub-1 minute time if they want a shot at pole position. No improvement coming for O'Hearn. Let's see who else is out there on their laps. Hamby just coming across the line, I think, to go to 4th fastest. Let's have a look at O'Wiggle as he makes his way around 3.5 of a second up. The improvement wouldn't be enough as it stands. He'll get one more shot to try and fight for pole position as well. Let's see if he can put something together. 4.5 being found as he comes across the line, just under 0.2 of a second off of pole position, but he is returning to the pit lane and he will not be able to challenge. I think that is out of fuel for the P2 man. Oskari Herm currently 0.2 of a second up, looking to find some time out here as well. Could be challenging for a position on the front row of the grid. Needs to find a bit more time though as he makes his way through this second half of the lap. Gayhammer still pushing as well, 0.5 of a second up, looking to try and extend his margin. It doesn't seem as it stands like anyone is going to be able to get at all close to him in this session. The 231 of Holmberg goes to P8 with a 2:08.87. The time that he is able to set. Let's jump quickly over to Gayhammer, who will be the next to come across the line. The checkered flag will be flying in just a few moments as well. 20 seconds left on the clock. I don't think we're going to be seeing any more laps after this one, so these will be your final runs here. Gayhammer pretty much matching his delta all the way through. 0.000 as he hit the brakes into the final corner. Now finding 1/10 of a second. Time dwindling. He comes across the line and doesn't improve. 0.02 of a second off his fastest time. But as it stands, he is the fastest in the session. We wait to see as a couple more drivers coming through the final corner. O'Hearn looking to find the time. Stays 3rd fastest but does improve. Gets a bit closer to O'Wiggle up in 2nd place. Let's see who else can find some time out here as well. The 1, 2, 3 making their way through. Let's see. Bowler goes up to 13th in the end. Puts himself in a nice position there. As the 231, I think, going to be the last driver out with a potential improvement. McNair also marginally improving here. Could be on for a position improved if he can get a good run through the final corner. Currently 0.5 of a second down on his time as he makes his way in towards the final corner. Does find some time. Is it going to find him a position though as he comes across the line? He stays in 7th position, so we'll jump over to Holmberg now, who is running down the Conrad straight 2.5 of a second up and could be snatching quite a few positions away by the time he reaches the checkered flag. If he can hold it together for these final few corners. Let's see, 0.3 of a second up. Does he hold it on the exit? Yes, he does. And this could be putting himself all the way up to the 2nd row here as we make our way onto the brakes in towards the final corner. Through Murray's corner we go up towards the line, and it is going to be P4 in the end for Holmberg. Really, really incredible stuff. There are your times in the end. Only 2 drivers able to crack the sub-2 minute times. Gayhammer, O'Wiggle, Hearn, Holmberg, Humby, Jorkland, Payton, McNair, Marsh, Serrano, your top 10 in that gold split. And now the drivers get themselves ready for qualifying. Let's see what the drivers can do here. Just waiting, of course, for us to slowly make our way towards the grid. But an incredible lap there from Frederick Gayhammer. 59.795, almost 0.2 of a second clear of O'Wiggle in the end. And yeah, ultimately that puts himself in that very, very strong position at the front of the field. And with how narrow this track can be, I expect you're probably going to see some difficulty, at least at times, for the drivers to overtake. It could be a lot of single file following out there for the drivers. But yes, going to be a very, very interesting one indeed. So I believe we are just waiting for the drivers to make setup strategy adjustments, choosing their fuel. Of course, one mandatory pit stop for the race as well, where the drivers have the opportunity to refuel their car. I don't believe there's any mandatory tyre changes though, and here we go now on the grid. We'll have a quick run through for you as well, if I can find we'll run through for you quickly. So we got Gehammer on pole, O'Wiggle currently in second position. Yeah, we'll go with this camera angle. O'Hearn in third. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem that the liveries have worked. I'm not too sure why that has happened. Holmberg in P4. Then we've got Hamby in fifth. Chalkland in sixth. Then we've got Peyton P7 on the grid in the McLaren. McNair starting in P8. Marsh in P9, Serrano in P10, Julius P11, Endgal in P12, Bowler in P13, Dykeman in P14, Missouri P15, O'Neill P16, Zimmer in P17, North in P18, Holmes in P19, the lead driver for the Bonds category. Really great job by him in qualifying. Barry in P20, Walker P21, Arscombe in P22. Then we've got Holmes in P23, Dismukes in P24, Smith P25, as the drivers start making their way back over the crest of the hill on the grid. Trickett P26, Homer in P27, Morrison P28, Winter in P29. Do we have a better angle here of the
20 seconds
drivers potentially? We'll just go inside the cockpit for these final drivers as they are quite a way back. We have got Jervis in P30, Ukunkuklu in P31, Sullivan P32, Lorenzo P33, Tennant 34th, Smith in 35, Nisbet 36th, Solary P37, Jones in P38, P39 for Bull, Masson in P40, Coulomb in 41st, and Olsen starting in P42. Formation lap, I think, very soon, just getting its way going, and our lead drivers starting to make their way out onto the track. And let me just quickly try and get rid of that. There we go. So yes, here is your running order, just a quick scroll through it as well for you. But we make our way out. A 1 hour race ahead of us here at Mount Panorama here in Bathurst. And Frederick Gehammer has been the strong pace setter of the season. He seems to be the driver with the best opportunity. And are we going to be seeing similar scenes to the Spa-Francorchamps circuit, where we see a driver running away at the front of the field, or are we going to be seeing a bit more of a battle as the brutal Bathurst throws curveballs its way with the wall so close? We've seen mistakes from a couple of drivers in qualifying. Are we going to be seeing more here in this race? This race going to be all about consistency for the drivers. They've got to make sure they keep their car in one piece and make it to the end as well. If you want to finish first you must finish. That is going to be the crucial motto for these drivers here tonight. Put the car in the wall and you could be seeing a disastrous end to your night. So all of the drivers just looking to get some temperature into your tyres. You can see O'Wiggle just behind, weaving, trying to get some temperature into that car. And yeah, it's going to be so important having those temperatures ready for this start of this race, because once you do head in towards this second sector, where you are so reliant on the performance of your tyres to make sure you can carry that speed, carry the momentum as well. That is something that is going to be very important. The momentum, carrying that through this Mount Panorama Circuit will gain you so much time. You just need those tyres to be in that performative operating window as we get ourselves ready for this race. Let's see what these drivers can do. So down the Conrod Straight we go. If you are enjoying the stream, of course, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button to get notified of when the channel goes live as well. If you are rooting for a driver, of course, make sure you let us know who in the live chat as well. But Gearhammer, currently our lead driver, going to be lining up to the front of the field very, very soon. The drivers will be getting into formation in just a few moments' time. And then it will be just waiting for the green flag, waiting for the go to get this race underway. 1 hour on the clock here, going to be about 30 laps of racing, give or take 1 or 2 laps potentially. And here we go now. The drivers form up into double file formation as we make our way through the chase towards Murray's Corner. And now we wait for the green flag. In just a few moments, you hear the roar of the engines as we make our way down towards the final corner. Gearhammer with the fastest time in qualifying. Can he convert that in the race here tonight? O'Wiggle lining up just alongside him, getting ready for that green flag any moment now as we head in towards the final corner. 1 hour of Bathurst to come here tonight in the SIMSeniors, round 4 of season 13. We come up towards the line and we will go green in just a few moments, I think. There we go. There comes the green flag. We put our foot to the floor. O'Wiggle to the outside as we head towards the first corner. Can he try and take the lead here from Gearhammer? They're side by side just about as we make our way through the first corner, but Gearhammer has held on to it up at the front. Still battling side by side as we make our way down towards turn number 2. Still could be looking for a shot, looking to the outside as we head in towards Quarry Bend. Here comes O'Wiggle trying to pull himself alongside. Has he got enough straight line speed here as they hit the brakes, get the car turned in, trying to hang it around the outside? There's a car going a bit wide, I think, in the background as well, but he still can't hold on to it. Has to settle in behind Gearhammer, doing everything he needs to do on this opening lap to hold on to that top position as we continue to make our way through. Not too sure what has happened to my timing tower. Something getting a bit confused. The position's a bit all over the place, but nonetheless, we continue on. The 208 is leading the way as we make our way through. I think it has settled itself out now that we've made our way through that first sector split. And as we now make our way through the S's, everybody has gotten away pretty cleanly. Only one driver's been left behind. That's the 125 of Soloray. Not the best start to the race for him. But the drivers continue on. Small gaps being formed in the pack. We will look around, of course, keep an eye on who is potentially thinking about some moves. Class leader for the Silver Dykeman, only a couple tenths off the back of Serrano as we now make our way onto the power. Bowler, though, looking to challenge here as we head down the Conrod Straight. Might be looking to try and get himself ahead of the Silver Class driver, and I think we'll be doing just that. It's going to be the outside line as we head towards the chase, the inside once we tuck in. And let's see, has he got the bravery? Brave on the brakes, potentially, to try and stick his nose in, try and get that car alongside. There's contact, and they spin around, and that is a costly, costly mistake. The Ferrari just about continues going. I think, no, he stopped over on the side, and the spinners, they rejoin, and that's going to cause chaos. A couple of cars further getting caught up in that one. Unfortunately for Dykeman, who was leading the Silver Class, I think he is going to be dropping down the order and being replaced by the 141 of Zimmer. Unfortunate stuff there. He finally gets the car back going once again. Now right down to the back of the field. Up at the front of the field, Gearhammer has still continued on. Frederick doing a really great job, but O'Wiggle has stuck with him, and that is going to be crucial. If there is a mistake to come, he will be ready to pounce. He will be ready to take that position away. as we have seen, there aren't too many overtaking opportunities on this track. So when an opportunity does come here, you have got to take it. So here we go now, down through the middle sector, through Solomon Park. Who is getting closest to the barriers? They are definitely leaving a bit of margin out there for the time being. They do not want to be fully committed, but they've got to make sure they carry enough speed that they aren't just throwing time away, throwing opportunities away. Gayhammer seems to have a bit more confidence. The gap coming up to about 0.6 of a second now as we make our way down the hill in towards Forest Elbow, and the long run down the Conrad Straight coming once again for our leading drivers. Let's see if anybody can pull a move off here, potentially. Just sitting in formation. Colin McNair getting a bit closer, 0.3 of the second off the back of the 444. Currently sat in P6, that gap is closing as we head in towards the chase. Is there going to be a chance to come very soon for the number 13? That could be a possibility, of course. We'll wait and see if he can get a run here. 0.2 of a second the gap as we head in towards Murray's Corner. There could be a chance to come very soon for him. Onto the power, the gap extends a little bit, but still sticking with him quite nicely. We'll keep an eye on these battles, of course, as we make our way through this race. 2 laps completed so far for our drivers. As running up the hill we go once again. McNair still sticking close. O'Wiggle also able to stick close, has the fastest lap at the moment as well. And there, so to the inside, a bit of contact being made as McNair defending there from Peyton behind. The battling is continuing on as well as we make our way in through the middle sector. In the end, Marsh getting through on Peyton up into that 8th position. A little bit of a scruffy move, unfortunately, didn't work out for him. McNair is now a couple seconds off the back of Holmberg for the time being. So got a bit of work to do if he wants to find any more positions in this race. But of course, he's going to have that clean air to push into. The opportunities will come throughout the race. We've got some cars going off further back. We'll have a look, see what has happened here for the drivers as they made their way through. What on earth has gone on here? Just a spin there for the 999, unfortunately, and the cars just have nowhere to go. They're all getting caught up in it, and that is where we joined live as the cars managed to escape. Fortunately, only 1 or 2 drivers really getting stuck, as still not had an opportunity to reverse out the way. He is just stuck on the inside of the corner here. Frank Tennant just waiting for that gap to come, and I think the gap has now come for Frank Tennant to continue on his way. Really unfortunate stuff for the bronze driver, dropping a long way off the back now. We'll jump back over to the front of the field though, where Gayhammer is still under pressure from O'Wiggle, hasn't quite been able to drop the number 317. Fastest lap now going the way of Gayhammer though. That is a crucial one for him, of course. Last time around, a 2:537. We're not too far off of those times we were seeing in qualifying, and considering the fact that we are basically running on quite high fuel, I'd assume. We're probably running a good 20 minutes into the race at least before we're seeing pit stops. Yeah, it's impressive to be seeing such competitive times. Engel, I think, has just made a move up into P10 as well. There are a couple of moves happening up and down the field as mistakes are made, of course. Still that battle with McNair and Holmberg as well now. McNair has managed to catch up to the back of Holmberg, who's getting very close to that wall as they make their way through the cutting in Griffin's Mount. But let's see what they can do then. Let's see if they can find the time. As we make our way over in towards the S's, can McNair try another overtake? He has been on a bit of a charge from the start of this race, making moves through the field. And might be on for another one to come as well. The top 3 seem to be, as it stands, in a bit of a class of their own. Currently a bit of a gap between themselves and P4, 4 seconds I believe it was, between P3 and P4. But these guys going to continue on nonetheless. Continue to push on, continue to try and find the time. Gayhammer only 6 tenths of a second clear, still yet to be able to find his way clear. Jorkland in the number 444, closing in on the back of McNair, might be looking to put some pressure on. He's been pacey all the time. Let's see, looking to the inside just for a brief moment as we head in towards Murray's corner. No chance coming just there. Further back, Serrano looking to make his way around the outside on Julius there in towards the final corner, finds his way through up into P11. Very nice job by him. O'Wiggle also closing in the gap, now just a 1/10 of a second as we head towards Quarry Bend. Could this be an opportunity? He's going to look to the outside defensive line from Gayhammer. That will crucially give him the opportunity to hold on to that position with the inside line. The shorter distance to be made, he can just get his elbows out and hold on to that position. So yeah, nicely done by him, still holding that lead. I think the most important thing though being that they haven't been able to break clear. That is the important thing. Gayhammer has not yet had a chance to pull away. Loris O'Wiggle has just stuck with him and applying that pressure constantly. So let's see who else going to be battling. Of course, that battle further back. McNair, 9/10 of a second off the back of Holmberg now. Will be closing in on the 231. Corner after corner, looking to try and find that time under pressure from the cars behind as well, though, so got to keep his wits about him. Can't commit too hard to an attack, otherwise he might leave himself vulnerable to the cars behind. But let's see, can he try and close in on the 231? That gap staying roughly around a second as we make our way through once again. Last time around, Holmberg was 2/10 of a second quicker than the number 13 of McNair. Whether that is going to change this time around, though, that might be a bit different. Jorkland as well gets closer in towards the chase here. Nicholas looking for a move, of course, to get himself up into P6. He's setting similar pace to Holmberg while stuck behind McNair here. Could be looking to try and maybe even chase after P4 if he can make his way clear. And that's just wide there, wide for McNair. That is a costly mistake. Gonna cost him a position not only to Jorkland, but maybe to Dan Marsh, I think, as well. Dave Marsh, sorry, as we make our way through. Not quite close enough for the move. Fortunately, had just enough momentum, but a crucial mistake lets Nicholas free. He can start to chase after Holmberg. He can try and see if there's anything he can do against the number 231. The gap 1.8 seconds after that mistake came. A little bit wide out of Murray's corner it was. That's all that you need to effectively let somebody have a chance to find their way through. And yeah, that is all it took. O'Herm has also closed in. Oscari Herm up at the front of the field, gaining on the back of our leading duo. O'Wiggle seems to be dropping a little bit of time. That gap looking a bit bigger than it has done on laps gone by, and maybe he's going to have to turn his mindset from offense, into defense as we make our way on towards the Conrod Straight. The gap now only half a 1/10 of a second from O'Wiggle to Herm. The 317 to the 169 as they continue on. Maybe this will be the opportunity that Gayhammer needs. They're coming up to their first car of traffic as well. That is going to be the 420 of Dismukes. And that's going to give themselves maybe a chance to try and break clear. If they can navigate this traffic effectively, it could be what you need to make the escape and make your way through as well. A car kicking up a bit of dirt there through the final corner, and I think we're going to be seeing some moves happening down towards turn number 2 as they're pulling over to the left-hand side. I believe, yes, goes Dismukes, letting through our leading trio of cars, or at least 2 of them. Will they all get through here heading in towards Quarry Bend? They do just that, and that is nice for them. They get some clean air once again. quite a way to the next car, which will be the number 20 of Masson. So yeah, he's quite a way up the road in that Lamborghini, and then there is a big space, effectively, until we're going to be seeing any more traffic for our leaders. So those guys are going to be sitting pretty now. They don't really have to worry for the time being. But these guys, of course, further back. Colin McNair, after that mistake, now going to be having to look forward once again to Jorkland to see if he can find a move here. So we make our way through, down through the S's. Nothing coming, of course, just yet for the number 13, but he will be looking for the opportunities to come corner after corner in towards Forest Elbow, try and set up a good exit here and see what he can do down the Conrad Straight. So still the gap's close here, the gap's close up at the front as well. And the drivers continue to battle. We've got some yellow flags out. What has happened to ask him? He's going slowly on the right-hand side of the track. Gets back going once again. Let's see, did anything happen here for him? Or was he just getting out of the way potentially? Everything looking all right. He just goes a little bit wide into the grass. Unfortunate stuff there for him. And unfortunately that costs him a couple of positions. Manages to get back going nicely. Doesn't look too worrying. For the number 76 though. Oscari Herm, 0.3 of a second off the back of O'Wiggle as we head in towards Quarry Bend. He is getting closer lap after lap. Our top three all starting to close, less than a second covering the top three drivers now as it stands. Holmberg also closing in on P4. Hamby might be thinking about a move in the not too distant future. In fact, that gap only 0.2 of a second as they make their way through. They're about 8 seconds behind us on the circuit. And they could very soon also be thinking about some potential overtakes. As it stands though, it does seem the Gearhammer has the pace out of the front. O'Herm also looking very quick. Oscari Herm, that is in P3 with the fastest lap as it stands. And the fastest lap the last time around. He is going to be eager to try and find his way through another slow car as we make our way past. A couple more cars going to have to be navigated, but crucially coming on a nice straight part of the track, so no worries for the drivers as they power their way down to the chase. And they can continue on their way. Got the 97 up the road just a little bit further, and then some nice clean air to come once again. We'll head over to Holmberg, who is closing in towards the chase on the back of Hamby Matthias, looking to try and find his 231 up into P4 here. The 84 going to do their best to defend, of course, but around a track like this, with so few overtaking opportunities, it may just take a mistake from the number 84 BMW for a move to be on the cards potentially. A little bit wide there for Holmberg through the first corner. Tried to carry a bit of extra speed, give himself the run down towards Quarry Bend. Not quite working out though this time around, so he'll have to settle in probably for the time being. Gains to about 0.2 of a second. It seems he has got the straight line advantage here, but executing the move, I think, is the difficult part as we make our way through up through this tricky section of corners, through the cutting, now through Griffin's Mount. Yeah, it's a difficult one around here, of course. Finding those gaps, I think we're coming up to some traffic here as well. Not the best place to be finding a lapped car, but a hit in the wall there. That is a costly mistake for Hamby. That could give Holmberg a chance, unfortunately. Also almost getting caught up in the exact same incident. McNair also going slowly. Something has happened to him as we made our way up through the hill here, and all of a sudden, some of the liveries, I think, starting to work. It was a wobble there, and unfortunately, quite a few hits into the barriers. You can see the bonnet just coming loose. That is definitely going to be damage for Colin McNair, and as soon as they appeared, unfortunately, they have disappeared once again. You can see the scuff marks on the side of that car. It's not been the best start to this race, unfortunately, for Colin McNair. A couple of trips with the barriers, a couple of runs off the track, not giving him the best start to this race. He's now down in P9, applying pressure to the back of Peyton. But looks like he's dropping away a little bit. That car does not seem to be in the best condition, losing quite a lot of time. We'll keep an eye on him, see is it going to be a trip to the pits. He's going to continue on his way. So let's look back over to our race leader, Gearhammer and Loris O'Wiggle. 0.2 of a second, 1/10 of a second as we head towards Quarry Bend, closing in that gap coming down. Gearhammer taking a defensive line, doesn't feel the need to battle just yet, though. Not close enough from O'Wiggle. We're 20 minutes into this race. It's probably not going to be too much longer before we start to see the first of some pit stops to get to the end of this race. I think we've seen a couple of drivers in the pit lane already, but I'm not sure whether that was for their pit stops or whether that was purely for the purpose of some damage potentially. But continuing on, still up at the front of the field. Yeah, I'm not too sure why the liveries aren't working, because they seem to work for a brief moment in the replay. I don't know why they worked then, but not now. Nonetheless, O'Wiggle, continuing to put the pressure on. Up at the front of the field, Endgau coming towards the back of McNair as well. Very soon might be looking at a move on the damaged car up ahead, the number 13. Let's see if he's able to find an opportunity potentially to come soon. As we head down towards the chase, how much is the damage affecting the number 13? Is it going to be costly enough, or can he just tuck it in? The gap is 1/10 of a second. Here we go to the inside, heading in towards the chase. Hit the brakes, hit your marks, get the car turned in, and he just about gets it stopped in time. But McNair on the power earlier, gets the exit, gets the run towards the final corner, but it's going to be a trip to the pit lane for Colin McNair. Whether that's to fix some damage or just his planned pit stop, we will not know, but things not looking too great for the number 13, who makes his way down the pit lane now towards his pit box, so deciding to give up on the chances there and make his way back into the pits. Not the best of starts to the race for the number 13. We are here with the 169, the 317 and the 208, our top three, 12.8 seconds clear of P4 as it stands. They are flying away half a second faster on the previous lap, I believe, compared to the rest of them. In fact, almost a second faster for our leader. They are really starting to stretch their legs, especially Gearhammer, who is now 1.3 seconds clear. Starting to find some confidence out there, I think, as we make our way down through the S's and the Dipper. Whether that time coming back down once again, there's some blue flags out as well. We might be catching a lapped car. One of the cars picking up a bit of damage, getting out of the way. And we see ourselves through now. McNair still in the pit lane, so things, yeah, really not going his way, unfortunately. But I think we'll be headed back out now, hopefully. It looks like he's near the end of the pit lane. Maybe that's just where his garage is. But in towards the chase we go. Let's see, is there anybody else getting close, thinking about a move? But McNair is still dropping positions, so still sat in the pit lane. He's down to P33 now. So yeah, really unfortunate stuff for him. Just dropping time over and over. He has now been lapped by his class leaders. Really unfortunate stuff. Just one small mistake, it shows that this Bathurst circuit really does bite. One mistake and you find yourself in such a tricky position. Yeah, we are headed down towards turn number 2. Got a lapped car up ahead. We're on board with our leader, seeing how he's going to navigate this one then. It is... I can't quite see which car it is up ahead of us. The number 13, it is actually the number 13 of McNair in front of us, so should have some decent pace, although it might make things a little bit tricky for our leaders, because he is not going to want to get lapped here in this race as we make our way through Solomons Park, McPhillamy Park, over Skyline now in towards the S's. You can see the gap is visually closing as we dive our way down the hill. But yeah, as far as I understand, blue flags mean don't fight, they don't mean to jump out of the way effectively. So even if there's a blue flag, if he's got the pace, I believe he can fight. I may be wrong about that though, we'll wait and see how things play out here, but gaining on the back of the number 13 all the while. The move may be inevitable, and unfortunately we might be seeing Colin McNair going a lap down here after that mistake caused an early pit stop. 36 minutes left to go of the race here. We're not quite halfway through. The 808 has had an off through the final corner. What has happened there for them? Let's jump over and see. Wide at the final corner, reversing back onto the track, and one of our leaders, I think, or maybe that was a lapped car, getting caught up in that. That was nearly a disastrous moment there. Fortunately able to get back on the brakes and not too much coming off it. Heads back round to the other side of the track to turn himself around. But yeah, very nearly a disastrous moment. I'm just looking to see. I think that might have actually been our race leader, potentially, that got caught up there. Yeah, it looks like there's been a bit of a hit to the front of the car. Yes, I believe that was our race leader, in fact. I'm looking, I don't see anybody else around. I think that might have been Gay Hammer, who has gotten very, very lucky, but you can see O'Wiggle and O'Hearn right on the back of the leader now. Let's see if they can pull a move off potentially. Is there any damage? I mean, it visually looks like there might be a bit of damage to the front end of that car. Whether that was caused by the car coming back or whether he picked something up earlier on, I'm not sure. It already did look like there was a bit of a dent before the contact happened. So we wind our way down through this middle sector. The gap's still extremely close between our top 3, 8/10 of a second, covering first and third, although those gaps starting to increase once again as we make our way through Forest Elbow on towards the Conrod Straight. And we could potentially be seeing some overtakes coming. The cars are closing in as we head towards the chase. Is there going to be a chance for O'Wiggle potentially, who's now only 1/10 of a second off the back? He's pulling over to the left-hand side of the circuit. Going to have to go the long way around the outside as we head in towards the chase. Brave on the brakes from Gay Hammer to hold on to this one as we get our way back out onto the power towards the final corner. But O'Wiggle not going to be giving this one up, right on the bumper as we make our way in towards the final corner. Still tucking in behind, and I think that was a pit stop for O'Hearn, potentially. Yes, into pit lane. Gonna look to try and get himself some free air while we have some fighting here. That might give him a chance, potentially, to try and jump ahead of these guys. So 1/10 of a second separating them. Down we go towards Quarry Bend once again. O'Wiggle looking to the outside. Can he find the move here as we make our way through? Marginally putting himself ahead. Gonna have to go the long way round, but there is the grip. The car makes it stick, and we have a new leader up at the front. Loris O'Wiggle taking the lead in the gold class up at the front, ahead of Gay Hammer. We've got a yellow flag out as well. That's the 162 going slowly. Not sure what has happened to him. Looks like he has got back going though, fortunately. But a change of position up at the front of the field. Endgau, Hearn and Julius all into the pit lane on this lap as well. So the pit stops are starting to come in now, of course. And very soon we could be seeing a few more from the rest of our drivers near the front of the field. We'll keep an eye on where they all file their way out. O'Hearn, Oskari Hearn, back out onto the track, currently in P14, 1 minute off the lead. So that is what we're looking at roughly for pit stop loss. 59 seconds is the gap as it stands. We will keep our eyes on that number when we see some pit stops coming. The 125 going slowly as well. What has happened? Facing backwards, that is not what you want to see here, as he tries to find his way through, and there's more contact there. That is not ideal. Can we catch what has happened? He was rolling backwards. We can't see exactly what has gone on here, but we can catch this one once again as he tried to turn his way around. Just reversed backwards, getting caught there. Fortunately, the other car is able to navigate their way around, and I think he has managed to get back going, has he? Just about now. We are facing the right way now, and continuing on our way, slowly getting himself up to speed. Not a place where you want to be stopping. The 213 getting caught up in a bit of contact there as well, as they try to navigate their way past. Things really not going well. A lot of damage, I think, on this car as he tries to limp it back. Really struggling to keep the car in control, riding his way along the walls, the number 125. Maybe some broken suspension for him here, struggling to get the car to turn in, I think, as he limps it home. Pretty much straight now to the pit lane though, so should be all right for him. Yeah, just having to avoid all this traffic. Doesn't seem he can put much speed into the car, as there the driver's going past, looking to try and battle as well. Here is Dijkman and Arscombe in the silver class, side by side as they head towards the chase, and through goes Dijkman up into P21 now. Lots more pit stops coming. Still nothing showing from our leaders at the moment, but other drivers are filing their way through. O'Hearn in P10, he has gained about a second on the last lap compared to our race leaders, so it does look like he is finding a little bit of time here. Depending on how much fuel needs to go into their cars, maybe a chance that he might be able to find his way back through. It was a 257 on the last lap because he was in the pit lane, but I think this time around, although he's having to deal with some traffic, might be looking to find a little bit more as well as we make our way through Solomon Park now towards McPhillamy Park. Going to be looking for somewhere to find his way past here, and he's going to let him through. North lets go through, heading in towards Skyline and into the S's as well. Next car up is Barry, again silver class, not really his fight for track position. Of course, he's made his pit stop, but going to be looking to try and find this one. Into the pit lane comes Gayhammer at the front of the field. Holmberg also coming in for a pit stop, as does Payton. So quite a few drivers now making their pit stops, and we're going to see where they file out now. We are currently on board with O'Hearn, who was in our fight for the top 3 positions up at the front of the field before the pit stops were made. Where will he come out relative to Gayhammer, who was about half a second off of our race leader O'Wiggle? Not close enough, heading in towards the chase there for the move. Those cars peeling into the pits, so that is going to clear the road for Oskari Hearn, and that is crucial now for him. He makes his way down the start-finish straight towards the first corner. All the while, we wait to see where does Gayhammer file out, and it is just marginally ahead. Track position is maintained. Oskari Hearn will have the momentum towards this next corner, but not going to be close enough for a move. Crucially, Gayhammer has held track position. As it stands, that probably means O'Wiggle will do exactly the same. I think the traffic just not quite playing into his hands in the end at that point. So yeah, unfortunate stuff for him. Our race leader coming down towards the chase. Got a couple cars of traffic in front of him. Is it going to be a pit stop this time around for him? We'll keep an eye on this, and we're also going to keep an eye on Oskari. Car is up to temperature. He is right on the back of Gayhammer here as we make our way through Skyline in towards the S's. getting close, not close enough for a move. They're onto the back of the leading silver driver at the moment. And this could spell disaster for Gayhammer if Oskari Herm can find a gap, try and find a lunge. A bit of a hit with the wall there on the exit of Forest Elbow, though that was not ideal for Herm. That's going to cost him a bit of a momentum here down towards the chase. He is gaining though on Gayhammer. That car does not look to be in the best of shape. Is there going to be a chance as we hit the brakes for the chase? The gap is closing. Is there going to be an opportunity? He'll look to the outside. Gayhammer takes a nice defensive line and holds onto that position. Really well done by the number 208. Jorkland into the pits, the number 444, as is Walker. That car, the number 330, that was hampering Gayhammer, now clears out of the way. And these guys can continue on their way, push on hard, and hope that they can close in on the gap setting by O'Wiggle, who is yet to make his pit stop. Bit wide there from Gayhammer as they make their way out of Hell's Corner. Here comes Oskari Herm closing in. The gap getting smaller and smaller. He's going to look to the outside. Can he do what O'Wiggle did just a few laps ago? To the outside, heading in towards Quarry Bend. He's going to try and hang it around the outside. Gayhammer not having any of that. Has the grip, has the performance, and manages to hold on to that one on the inside the traffic, forcing them into single file. So Oskari Herm has to settle in behind that position held for the time being. Gayhammer holding on to P2. This battling also costing them time to O'Wiggle up at the front of the field. And I think O'Wiggle now would comfortably come out ahead of these guys if he does come into the pits. And we'll have a look to see where is he coming. And it is into the pit lane. Gets down to 50 kilometers an hour. Gets the car stopped nicely. And now we wait to see the gap. Can these two hold off on their battling for just half a lap? Try and push hard, try and catch up to the 317. It's a long run, of course, before they're going to meet him again. But that gap will tumble now. We've got some yellow flags out. The number 41 having an off down here as well, facing sideways. Let's see, can we see what's happened? A hit with the wall, just carried too much speed into the S. There's another car behind, following through, another hit into the barriers, and that's how he ended up sideways. And then that is where we joined on live as he waited to try and find his way through. He has reset to the pit lane though. Maybe the damage too far gone. I think a mistake here for Gayhammer as well. I saw a yellow flag just briefly. Here comes Oskari Herm to the outside in towards Murray's Corner. He is trying to find his way through. If there wasn't already a chance for the move not to be on, I think this is well and truly going to secure it. They've lost a couple seconds on this lap, and towards turn one we're side by side. Oskari Herm has that inside line, and you can see our race leader up the road already. The gap has extended through the pit stop phase. The battling, the mistakes coming as well, and Oskari Herm now through up into second place. Gayhammer not going to be giving up just yet, but I don't think he's going to get close enough heading in towards this set of corners. Let's see if we can catch what happened just a few moments ago. Let's see if I've got the replay files correct. Can we see what was going on? There was a trip across the gravel here for the 208, and that is why he lost so much time. I don't know if there was potentially contact between these two. Really unfortunate that we can't see those liveries. They look amazing. I'm really upset that we can't see them right now. But yeah, a mistake there for Gayhammer. And yeah, that was what cost him. He's now dropping more time. I'm not sure, maybe there was some damage picked up. But as it stands, O'Wiggle 7 seconds clear up at the front of the field as we navigate through some blue flagged runners. 23 minutes to go. Is the pace there for Oskari Herm to close in on O'Wiggle up at the front of the field? 7 seconds he needs to find. As it stands on this past lap, he hasn't found anything yet. We'll have a look further back as well. Missouri has been right on the back of Serrano for this entire race. The gap been teetering under half a second, just hasn't been able to find the move. And yeah, unfortunate stuff at the moment for him. Got some blue flags coming out as well. They navigate their way through. O'Neill a bit further back, also getting close to the back of Smith in the 199, the leader of the bronze class. Dykeman, the leader of the silver class. I'm not sure if he's yet to make a pit stop or not. I don't believe he is. But we'll wait and see, of course, if that is the case once everything files its way through. Yellow flags, that's the 125. Again, having a bit of an off. Down at the chase. Spinning round in the grass. Can we see what happened to him? Just getting on the power, I think, and bounce into the barriers. And things, unfortunately, not playing out for him. 21 minutes left to go in this race. And Dykeman is into the pits, in fact. So that confirms that question. Now the next question, I guess, is, has Zimmer made his pit stop? I don't know where I can see this. On my telemetry, I can see it, in fact. And I'm looking now. And that, I believe, was the final pit stop to be made for a driver. So this is going to be our running order as things stand. Bit of a wobble there from one of the cars in the background as we get back running down towards turn number 2. Under pressure here, McNair looking to recover here to the inside in towards Quarry Bend. Gets the car stopped nicely. He is through now up into 14th place. No more drivers of the lower classes to battle now. The next car up the road, O'Neill, 1.4 seconds. Going to be looking to try and close in on him. Try and find that position very soon as well. Still could be a chance to gain maybe 1 or 2 more positions here throughout this race if he can keep his nose clean towards the checkered flag. Looking to the drivers up at the front, I think Gayhammer is really struggling with the damage we can see on the front end of his car. He is now 5 seconds off the back of O'Herm, setting 2-minute 2 lap times. Yeah, that is a tough pill to swallow really for him. 2 seconds slower on the last lap. Last time around as well, Oskari Herm was faster by 0.3 of a second. The gap is closing ever so marginally to our race leader. Just going to be a matter of time, I think, although time is going to be the big factor, of course. Is there enough time? We've only got 20 minutes left to go in this race. It's only about 10 laps. That would only gain him about 3 seconds. He's got to pick up the pace, I think, if he wants a chance to fight for victory here in Bathurst. Going to be a tough one. Maybe some mistakes, maybe some traffic could come into play. We can see O'Wiggle is currently actually stuck behind a lapped car here. Going to be losing a little bit of time here, and that will help. The gap has in fact come down by almost a second while O'Wiggle has been stuck here behind, I think that's the number 33, if I can read. So he continues on his way. Clears that traffic, but the gap now 5.8 seconds. The gap has come down further, and if Oskari can find a nice gap to find his way past that traffic, he could be on to find a big chunk of time. We'll look at the lap times, of course, as they make their way through. O'Wiggle just coming across the line now, a 2:01.6. Oskari Hearn comes across the line now, 2:08. He found a nice chunk of time on that lap. The gap is now 6 seconds. If he can continue at this rate, he would be able to catch, but it's going to come down to traffic, I think. The traffic management going to be crucial, and making sure you find that traffic in the right place at the right time as well. Just a little bit of bad luck with some traffic and you might be in for a disaster. Holmberg still on the back of Hamby as well. Matthias been working out this one all race. The gap 0.3 of a second as we head towards Quarry Bend. The gap coming down by the time they hit the brakes, just over 0.1 of a second, but not close enough for a move heading in towards turn number 2. Still having to wait. They've got some traffic in front, which could play a factor, of course. We've seen it happen time and time again here in this race. The traffic management being so crucial with 40 cars out on this track. You've got to find it at the right time. The battle for the lead in the silver class as well. Here's Walker, Kevin Walker, on the back of Zimmer, heading towards the first corner. 3 cars separated by half a second as they make their way through the first corner. All 3 of them, Zimmer, Walker and Barry, battling away. North closing in on this battle as well. He's only 6 tenths further behind us, wide in the back. I think that might have been Bowler in the Ferrari, going off onto the grass in turn 1. Down towards turn number 2 we go with these guys as they continue on their escapades through the circuit. Smith has had an off, and that is a big off in the middle sector. That is going to cost him dearly. Let's have a look and see what has happened here for the number 199. Bit wide there onto the grass, just a touch. Carried a bit too much speed, and round the car went into the barriers. Unfortunate stuff for him. Zimmer still holding the lead in that battle. The gap up at the front as well, still sitting around 6 seconds. So we continue on once again. The gaps extending a little bit further in this battle for P1 in the silver class. The battle for P1 in bronze currently held by Smith, who is about 7 seconds clear of Holmes, who is the next car in his class, for number 2. Vasuri fighting here with Julius through the final corner as well. They're side by side as they come across the start-finish line with 15 minutes left to go in this race session here inside line. In towards the first corner for the number 992. Holds onto that position a bit wide from the 993. And ultimately that costs him the position on the exit as they head up towards Quarry Bend. Colin McNair has caught up to the back of O'Neill, 1 second the gap, so very soon we could be seeing a bit of battling from the number 13 once again. We are back over to our battle in the silver class. I have just noticed as well the gap between O'Wiggle and Hearn has come down by another second. The gap now 5 seconds. Not sure whether that was just a bit of traffic or whether it's been a bit of a shaky moment for our race leader. But here we go down towards turn number 2, looking to the inside there, trying to apply some pressure was Barry in the 57 Lexus. Couldn't quite find the gap though, still having to tuck in behind these 2 Ferraris who currently battle away for the lead of their class. Continuing on their way. There's more traffic coming up for our race leader very soon, the number 76 of Arscombe, going to be the next one on the chopping block. And we've got some traffic here for our leaders of the silver class going off the track there. That was almost a disaster, and the Lexus off into the gravel, not the greatest place to try and let some cars through, and that is going to cost Barry a position to North in the 207 Lamborghini, who gets through. Barry, unfortunately the driver, getting caught out by the slow car in the middle sector there. And that drops him down into P18 now, 4th in class. Just looking at the gaps now as well. They have stabilized once again at the front, back to about 6 seconds. Gonna need about half a second a lap at this rate to make it to the end with that position. Zimmer is 2 seconds clear, I think partially as a result of that slow car, so that has thrown him a bit of a lifeline in this battle here. Bowler as well, gold class Ferrari lining up on the back of Barry, the 1-2-3, looking to find his way through. Not been, I don't think, the race that he would have been hoping for. A minute and a half off of his class leader at the moment. Let's see if he can find his way through this these cars here, try and get himself a few extra positions here tonight. So we make our way through the first corner, keeping an eye on the gaps as well. We'll jump back over to Serrano, who is still pushing on here, still pushing on the back of Endgal, the 212, right on the back of the 443 as we make our way over Skyline into the S's. A little bit wide there on the curb. Didn't get on the grass though, that's the crucial thing. As we continue to dive our way down towards Forest Elbow, is there going to be an opportunity here for Serrano as he gets onto the power? McNair, yellow flags out. I think that might have just been some lapsed traffic. Thought from just a brief moment there was going to be a big mogue, but he's lost about a second as Serrano does find himself through ahead of Endgau as they make their way over the sector split line. P9 now going his way. 5.6 the gap between first and second. That has just increased now up to 6 seconds once again. So it does seem that that gap is kind of settling in a little bit. They seem to be able to try kind of match themselves lap after lap, and ultimately not able to find enough time. Holmberg, 0.3 of a second off the back of Hamby as we make our way up through Quarry Bend. Let's see if anybody can find their way through. Wiggle currently leading the way at the moment. 4.7 though. That gap is coming once again. I think that might be another lapped car catching our race leader out. O'Hearn is going to have, Sky Hearn is going to have another car to navigate here. 10 minutes on the clock, the gap under 5 seconds. It is coming down lap after lap, and there is quite a lot of traffic that is going to have to be navigated in these final laps of the race. Herm closing in on the back here. Gets through into the final corner, doesn't lose too much time, but it is time lost nonetheless. Our race leader, you can see the cars lining up here that he's going to have to overtake if he wants to hold on to this position, of course. So we continue to make our way through. Battling happening up ahead. I'm not sure whether that is on the track. We've got yellow flags. That is the 125 going wide, and this not too far, I think, ahead of our leaders, or could be another car coming into the fray eventually for our race leaders. Coulomb, I think, also having a bit of an off, has managed to get back going nicely though. The number 773 McLaren in P29 at the moment, 5th in class. Not been the worst race for him. Here's Holmberg, 1/10 of a second off the back of Hamby. Once again, he gets really close, heading in towards the cutting, but just not able to find the space for an overtake through this section of the track. And I've just noticed as well, O'Wiggle really getting stuck in the traffic. Herm is 2.7 seconds now. 2.5, 2.4, 2.3. The gap is coming down. You can see the top two in the same shot on the track now. We head on towards the Conrad Straight, and the gap is 2 seconds with 8 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in this race. One more car of traffic between these two drivers, and then it is going to be a straight battle of pace. But seeing the car in front of you is going to be the motivation you need to push and dig deep and find those extra few tenths of a second to try and close in here. Just got to hope that he can find his way through this next car of traffic in a nice, orderly time without losing too much time as well. And this could come down to the final few back markers that might come into play. The 19, the 6, the 733, and the 213 all might potentially come into play in these final few laps of the race. And here we head down towards turn number 2, slipstreaming here for Hearn, trying to find as much time as he can, and he's going to find his way through, I think, to the outside here as they make their way in. No cars now separating our race leader and second, and the gap is 2.5 seconds as we make our way through Quarry Bend. 7 minutes and 50 seconds to go. About 4 laps, give or take maybe one, lap here. The gaps are coming down. Holmberg as well, side by side as they run towards Quarry Bend. Another battle. Jorkland gaining in on this battle as well. This is the battle for 4th position to the inside, heading in towards Quarry Bend. There's a lapped car on the outside as well, getting out the way. The number 97, yellow flags out, but they make their way through. Here comes Hamby now under pressure from Nicholas Jorkland as they make their way up the hill here through the cutting. These three all of a sudden battling over 4th position, 3 cars separated by such small margins, keeping an eye as well on our leaders. The gap extending once again, but O'Wiggle closing in on some more lapped traffic with 7 minutes left to go. Things are definitely not over in the fight in gold. Our top 3 currently quite a way clear of this group of cars. Gatehammer has been limping his car back to the finish. He's now 15 seconds off of P2, 18 off of the lead. But things still continue on. We've got a close battle for the second class of drivers, our silver class as well. 4 drivers all in contention there, separated by less than a second between each of them. And we head down the Conrod Straight once again. The 231 leading this pack of cars. Hamby in the 84 under pressure from the 444. What can these guys do in the final few laps of this race? 6 minutes to go here in Bathurst. In Mount Panorama, 2.8, the gap between our leaders, and I think we are catching traffic once again. O'Wiggle has navigated the first car, but is he going to get caught up behind the number 19 here, potentially as we make our way through the middle sector? This is going to be a crucial one, and is he going to move over to the side here as we make our way up through Reed Park? Yes, he does. Really nicely done there. O'Herm is now going to be the one tucked up behind, and can he find his way through as well to the outside? Yes, he does. Nicely done. They both navigate the traffic efficiently. Not too much time lost for either of them, but there's still another car here for Oskari Hearn to navigate if he wants to find his way through. These two pushing all the way to the limit, trying to find as much time as they can. As it stands, O'Wiggle has extended his margin on this lap, and that is going to be so crucial for him. Going to jump over to the silver class as well as battling here. Barry and North side by side through the final corner of the lap, through Murray's corner towards the first turn we go now. Walker and Zimmer just up the road, battling for the lead of the silver class as well. 1.7 seconds separating these two packs of cars. Wide there goes the Ferrari of Bowler off into the grass. We've seen him do that a couple of times in this race. 3 seconds now separating O'Wiggle and Hearn, as side by side we run towards Quarry's Bend. The Lexus on the outside trying to dance his way through up into 17th. He runs a bit wide though. That could give a chance on the exit for North to fight back to the outside now as they head in towards the cutting. He retakes that position. A crucial moment there for him, and Bowler now back onto the back of that battle. Our race leader, once again, he's got the number 6, the next car up ahead of him. 4 minutes left of this race to go. And what can he do here? The number 6. The next car for him to contend with, and then it's 5 seconds to the next car after that. Crucial moments here in this race. The traffic really defining things. The gap was at 7 seconds about 15 minutes ago, but the traffic getting caught up here has brought that gap down. Was at one moment at just 2.2 seconds. O'Wiggle has done everything he needs to do to continue to extend his margin, but it's not over until the checkered flag flies. That is the thing we have to remember. Not able to find a way through just yet as we make our way through the dipper, looking for that gap heading into Forest Elbow, but he is getting stuck behind, and that is going to be frustrating him. Oskari Hearn is going to be hoping to gain a bit of time back here as we make our way on towards Conrod Straight. The gap 3.3 seconds. Didn't gain too much time there but it is time gained nonetheless. If there are some mistakes to come in these final few moments, Gayhammer, there's a big crash here as we head down the hill through the S's and the Dipper. That is a big moment. What has happened here as they made their way through? Was this a lap car? Yes, 1 or 2 lap cars getting caught up, and they just got blocked in. Nowhere for them to go. Unfortunate stuff there. Unfortunately, our P3 driver, Holmberg, is right on him here as we head down towards the chase. Towards the chase this is. Holmberg is through, up into 3rd position in the dying stages of this race. 2 minutes to go till the checkered flag will fly. Gayhammer has lost position, and all of a sudden, Bjorklund and Hamby, they're deep off the track. One of the cars going wide there. I'm not sure who that is who's gone off the track. Gayhammer has lost positions here, and I think that was Bjorklund going deep, the 444. Hamby, Gayhammer, and Bjorklund all fighting here in the final few moments of this race. Marsh also now getting in on this battle. Our top 2 are a long way clear, 26 seconds ahead of this scrap of cars. But in the final few moments of this race, things have really lit up here in the fight for 3rd position on the track. Gayhammer with the traffic. Again, it was the traffic just navigating your way through. He couldn't find the gap. It cost him dearly. And now here comes Bjorklund on Gayhammer to the outside, heading in towards Quarry Bend. He finds his way through. He's up into P5 now, and Gayhammer going to be under pressure from Dave Marsh as well. The P7 driver, number 27, looking to the inside as we head in towards the cutting. Into the barriers there for Gayhammer. Contact made with the wall. He couldn't get it stopped in time, and Dave Marsh is through, up into 6th position now. And there may still be yet another position lost for Gayhammer, who looked like he was set to hang on and recover for a P3 finish, but now might be tumbling further and further down to potentially P8 here. The gap between 1st and 2nd has extended. It's now 4.6 seconds, but we watch as Gayhammer is limping back wide off the track. Gayhammer goes. Another mistake for the number 208, and that is going to cost him as well. Payton is through. Gayhammer down to 8th. He is really struggling to limp this car home now. I think the damage just becoming insurmountable. And it is so unfortunate to see so much time being lost here. Leaders on the final lap now as we tick the time down. 15 seconds to go. O'Wiggle, 4.5 seconds clear, up at the front of the field, has navigated the traffic well, and he has done everything he needs to do right now to come home and secure this victory. It was 7 seconds, the gap. When we made the pit stops, it came down to 2.2. It now sits at 4.4. The timer has hit 0. And now we wait as we complete the final lap of this race to see who is going to be coming out up at the front of the field. Crucial stuff here. Bjorklund still not giving up now. Could still have a shot to pick up P4 off the back of Hamby. The lights being flashed. They want the traffic out of the way for this final lap battle as they make their way down towards Quarry Bend. I think O'Herm just having to give this one up. 5.3 seconds is the gap now as they continue on. Just one more run down the mountain to complete this race for O'Wiggle here tonight. He has done an incredible job. Still, we watch this battle. 8/10 is the gap, but let's jump over to our leader as he makes the run down the Conrod Straight on the final lap of this race. It's been an incredible drive from the number 317, and only one more set of corners after this one to come. The car's going to be running low on fuel. The gap, though, is 5.4 seconds as we make our way through the chase. Just Murray's corner left to go. And here at Mount Panorama in Bathurst, Australia, Loris O'Wiggle will round the final corner now, and he will take victory here at Mount Panorama in round 4 of the SIMSeniors Championship. He takes victory here tonight. Oskari Herm got close, but in the end, the gap, 4.5 seconds. He will come across the line in second. And now we watch back to the battles further behind. Nobody unfortunately getting close enough in the fight for third. It was chaotic just a few laps ago as Gayhammer, he lost control of his car, lost an opportunity to pick up third. Holmberg will fight through. gets his way through the traffic, navigates the overtakes. He comes through to take P3. Hamby in P4. Paul Hamby, great drive by him. Jorkland couldn't quite get the move done on that final lap. Dave Marsh comes home in P6. Just watching as well to see the second classes. Our winner of the bronze class, Peter Smith, coming home with the win in the bronze class. Stuart Holmes in second. I think Olsen will come home in third. And we just wait to see the rest of the cars battling here. Gay Hammer has lost another position at the final corner of the racetrack. Pedro Serrano takes P8 to the line. Gay Hammer in P9, Endgal P10, Bazuri in P11, Julius in P12. Next will be O'Neill and then McNair battling here in the silver class as well. Walker side by side with Zimmer in towards the chase to decide the winner of the class round the outside. Zimmer trying everything he can, but Walker finds his way through in a spin. Zimmer has led the way in the silver class all this while, but on the final lap, a spin will cost him, and it will cost him a class podium as well. He tumbles down the order. Kevin Walker through the final corner to take class victory in the silver class. Barry comes home in second. And then Alex North to take P3 in class. Bowler comes home P17. Zimmer in the end, 18th position, 4th in class. A mistake on the final lap, and that is your race completed. What a race we have had here in Mount Panorama. That is your finishing order. Your race winner after 30 laps, Loris O'Wiggle, 5.3 seconds separating the 317 and the 169. And I believe heading out for a bit of a celebration. Here is your race winner. Well, this might be him heading back to the pits. I don't know. But nonetheless, your race winner making his way down the pit lane, pulls over into the garage. O'Hearn in second, Holmberg in third, Hamby in fourth, Jorkland in fifth, Marsh sixth, then Payton, Endgal, McNair, Walker, Barry, Bowler, Zimmer, Smith, Holmes, Olsen, Smith, Jervis, Coulomb, Winter, Nisbet, Mason, Lorenzo, Bull, Solary, and Dismukes, I believe, is your order. I think my timing tower might be losing one or two of the drivers. Yes, a couple have dropped off of my screen, but nonetheless, a really, really exciting race we have seen here tonight. You can see the rest of the timing screen on the left-hand side of the screen right now. Unfortunate that we couldn't get the liveries working. One or two things that could be worked on, of course. My first time on this game. But yeah, really great job by everyone. And yeah, what a race it has been here tonight, here in the SIMSeniors Championship. I have been Josh Richards, taking you through the action. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Make sure you hit that like button as well, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications so you know when the SIMSeniors channel goes live. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here tonight, and we will see you all next week. Take care, and bye for now.
Three, two, one, go!